All four of Donald Trump's adult children attended the state banquet at Buckingham Palace on Monday night. And while none were called upon to pose for official pictures with the Queen, they all made sure to appear in the background as she and Trump attended the event. Don Jr., 41, Ivanka, 37, Eric, 35, Eric's wife Laura, 36, and Tiffany, 25, each dressed up for the fancy fete and could be spotted milling about and smiling in the direction of photographers. As Trump and the Queen walked side by side through the doors into the music room, they were immediately followed by Melania, Prince Charles, and Camilla, Duchess of Cornwall. But several feet behind them in the room they were leaving, Trump's children could be seen talking and turning their faces toward the shutters of the press. Ivanka, dressed in a blue Carolina Herrera dress, smiled beside her brother Eric, who also grinned as he looked out of the room. In other photos, Ivanka can be seen standing next to her husband Jared Kushner while Tiffany, dressed in a red ball gown with full-length white gloves, stood nearby looking up at the art on the walls. Within feet of her was her big brother Don Jr., who stood awkwardly near the Duchess of Cambridge but didn't appear to be speaking to her. Trump's only child missing from the event was his youngest son Barron, 13. And while the adult Trump kids may have been new to mingling with royals, they were really thrust into the deep end at the event as none were seated next to each other. Ivanka sat between Liam Fox, the UK Secretary of State for International Trade, and Sophie, Countess of Wessex. She was nearest to her father. Her husband Jared was at the other table. Tiffany Trump sat between HSBC Chairman Mark Tucker and Edward Young, the Queen's private secretary. Eric was placed between Dame Vivian Hunt and Janet Tucker, while his wife Laura was much farther down the table between Lord Hague of Richmond and Royal Dutch Shell Chief Executive Ben van Beurden. And the children's appearance at the state banquet at Buckingham Palace didn't go unnoticed by social media users. One user took to Twitter to highlight the fact that all four children attended the event, writing, "Is it customary for us to send the kids and an entourage to the UK? How much did this trip cost US? Trump UK visit," wrote another. "Wait. Trump brought his kids?" Another user asked. "'Tis more and more like a Griswold's European vacation." A fourth user added, "Why are US taxpayers paying for a Trump family vacation, all of his adult children, to meet the Queen?" Another Twitter user said, "You got to be kidding, Trump brings his children to the UK. I sure hope we're not paying for this bull's *** too." While it is certainly unusual that all four of the president's adult children would attend the banquet, the event is one of the most important ones on the Trump's three-day itinerary. Around 170 guests are expected to dine on steamed fillet of halibut with watercress mousse, asparagus spears and chervil sauce, saddle of new season, Windsor lamb with herb stuffing and spring vegetables and port sauce, strawberry sable with lemon verbena cream, assorted fresh fruits, coffee, and petit fours. So it's no wonder that Ivanka and Tiffany turned up the glamour with the dresses they chose for the evening. Their older brother Don Jr. went all out, too, snagging a tuxedo from a designer friend Zhang Toy whose show he attended at New York Fashion Week earlier this year. He shared a snapshot of himself heading over to the event on Monday night, posting an Instagram selfie in what appeared to be a chartered van for the ride over to the palace. "Tails/white tie thanks to my buddy at Zhangdoi," he wrote. Off to the state dinner. Meanwhile, Eric opted for a similar black suit with a white bow tie. He was accompanied by his wife Laura, who wore a black and white strapless gown by designer Monique Huillier. She complemented the outfit with a pair of satin white gloves, and wore her hair pulled back for the evening, finishing off the look with a simple pearl necklace. This is the first event of the trip that Tiffany, Eric, and Don Jr. have been invited to, though Golden Child and Special Advisor Ivanka was around for several engagements so far. First thing this morning, she started her day with a visit to Buckingham Palace, where she admired American items in the royal collection alongside her husband and her father. There, she also spent a moment speaking with Prince Harry, who was there without his wife, the Duchess of Sussex. After that, she headed over to Westminster Abbey with her husband, where they visited the grave of the unknown warrior.